In the book of Genesis, God told Adam and Eve that they can eat from all the tree in the Garden of Eden, except the tree of knowledge. As Adam and Eve were created to be immortal, so God did not restrict them about the tree of life. This is how the Bible describes it. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. And the Lord God commanded the man, "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die." Now let's see how the devil deceived them. In Genesis 3, Bible describes Satan or the devil like, "Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made." Now the word crafty also means subtle or someone who can deceive sweetly, which often makes it difficult to analyze or understand. Let's see the trick he played to deceive Eve. In Genesis 3:1, he said to the woman, "Did God really say, 'You must not eat from any tree in the garden'?" What the serpent asked Eve was definitely a lie, because God never told them not to eat from the trees in the garden. God only mentioned the tree of knowledge. This was a trick. Serpent was definitely trying to portray God as a negative character and generate negative emotions in Eve's mind so that she will fall into sin. Like, for example, when a colleague says, "I think our manager is always rude to you," which may not be true, but it does create a negative emotion in the person's mind against their manager. Let's dive back into Genesis. Satan was successful in manipulating Eve's thought, because the reply Eve gave was the result of the that. In Genesis 2, the woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, 'You must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.'" God never restricted them from touching it. In fact, if God wanted to keep it hidden, it wouldn't be in the garden. God trusted Adam and Eve. That is why the tree was in the middle of the garden. God thought they would obey him, just like all his other creations. In Genesis 3:4, "You will not certainly die," the serpent said to the woman. "For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Eve forgot that Adam and Eve were the only creation that God created in his image and likeness, to be like him. Sometimes people around us are also crafty as the devil. When they say you are ugly, remember you were fearfully and wonderfully made, Psalm 139:13-14. When they say you are a disgrace and worthless, remember in Isaiah 43:4 it says, "Since you are precious and honored in my sight, and because I love you, I will give people in exchange for you, nations in exchange for your life." In God's eyes, we are precious and honored. He loves us so much that he would exchange nations for our life.